Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today we're going to be doing a tag video. I've seen a few of my favorite creators do this, including Jen Loves Reviews and Mel Thompson, and I thought it was a really interesting tag. I actually was kind of already considering doing sort of like an end of the year video talking about how much money I spent on makeup this year, but when I saw this tag, I thought like that fit in perfectly. We're probably gonna take things even like a step further because I'm a total nerd for numbers. Like I was one of those people that grew up actually liking math because I'm a weirdo. So I actually keep ridiculously good records of everything that I purchase throughout the year. So I can give you guys some really accurate and very interesting statistics regarding how much money I spent on makeup this year. So I believe that this tag was originally created by someone called 90s Love Child. I'm not familiar with their channel, but I will link their original video for you guys in the description box for you to check out, as well as Mel and Jen's videos since they're the ones who inspired me. But basically, the beauty consumer tag is a series of questions all about your spending habits regarding beauty purchases and kind of asks you to reflect on, in general, the type of beauty consumer you are. So with that being said, let's get into the actual tag questions. Number one is the golden question, which is how much do you spend on makeup a month or a year? So looking back at my little spreadsheet, which is updated to my final purchase of 2019, I'm not planning on spending any more money on beauty stuff this year. The year's almost over. There's a few days left, but you know, I'm gonna try to restrain myself. So I spent a total of $1,914.55 on beauty purchases this year. So that includes makeup, skincare, hair care, hair tools, bath and body stuff, my Epsom salts, etc. And then I spent another $553.95 on subscriptions, which I have been subscribed this year to BoxyCharm with the BoxyLuxe upgrade and FabFitFun. I had an annual FabFitFun membership that just ended, and then BoxyCharm I pay for in 3-month increments, and then with the upgrade. Now that is no insignificant amount of money, especially when you consider that we're talking about beauty stuff, and I think the average person probably spends a fraction of that much money on their beauty purchases. However, this is my hobby. I do treat it like a business. I do pay taxes on the money that I make from my blog. I file a Schedule C. I do all of my own taxes, which is why I keep ridiculously good records, because I need to be able to do them at the end of the year. So for me personally, I feel like when I look at that number and I think about it as like money spent on a hobby, spent on something that I really enjoy, and spent on something that is kind of like a little mini business for me that I actually can make money from, it doesn't really bother me that much. I think I could do better. I would like to try to spend less in 2020, but I don't feel like that number is absolutely like out of control. Now, something you guys may find interesting, or at least I found interesting, when I looked at my Sephora and Ulta purchases specifically, I spent almost identical amounts at both stores, and they both came in at just under $500, which is actually really pretty reasonable. I know there are plenty of people who spend more than $500 in like a single go at Sephora or Ulta. So for an entire year, I was like, that really isn't so bad. However, if you'll remember, my total beauty spending was almost $2,000 before subscriptions, so that begs the question, where the heck did the other $1,000 come from? Turns out, I shopped at 12 different other stores this year, which would include individual brand websites, CVS, Walgreens, Target, Walmart, Bed Bath & Beyond, etc. And among those 12 stores, I only spent over $100 at 3 of them, which were like, I think, Nabla, ColourPop, and weirdly enough, CVS. Which again, it just goes to show small purchases add up over the course of the year. So even though at each of those stores, I made purchases that weren't that big, when you consider that I made so many of them over the course of the whole year, I ended up spending like $1,000 on stuff from a bunch of random places. Now also, I should note, like $200 of that $1,000 was FabFitFun add-ons and things I purchased from their edit sale. which again just goes to show how sneaky that stuff is. Now, the prices of those products are usually really like incredible. They're very, very heavily discounted, which is what entices you to buy stuff. But again, it adds up. So over the course of those 4 boxes, I spent an extra $200, which is basically what the whole subscription costs for a year. So basically, all those add-ons essentially doubled the cost of FabFitFun. Now, another thing I do want to point out that I thought was also super interesting is that even though what I spent was $2,500, the value of everything I bought and got in my subscription boxes this year was almost $8,000. $8,000. It came out to like $7,900. I thought that was absolutely crazy. It was basically like the equivalent of getting everything I bought at 69% off. And I will say this much for myself. I am a bargain hunter. I very, very rarely buy things full price. I almost always wait for a coupon or some kind of sale, or try to use things like my Ulta points to get things for free. So that way I'm able to really make my money go further. I also use Ebates, which is now called Rakuten, and I estimated that between my Ulta points and my Rakuten gift cards and like cashback points that I used to then go buy more stuff from Sephora and Ulta, I got about $600 worth of free stuff this year, and then saved about another $1,400 in sales and coupons. Now, that is not to say that you should ever just buy something because it's on sale. I'm a firm believer in not doing that. My philosophy is more, if there's something you really, really want, odds are it will go on sale or you will get a coupon. So sometimes patience is worth it if ultimately what you care most about is keeping a budget. I also will put out there that this was the first year in my entire history of blogging and doing YouTube that I actually made more money from making content than I spent, which was a fantastic feeling. And it definitely sort of, again, makes me feel a little bit more justified in the expense and the cost, like what I'm putting into my channel, because that $2,500 that I mentioned doesn't include blog expenses. I think I spent maybe another $800 on things like my website hosting fees, my P.O. box, shipping giveaway prizes to you guys, my subscription to Photoshop, going to events like Ipsy Live. All that kind of stuff adds up over the course of the year. However, even taking that plus everything I bought into consideration, I still made more money than that. So I feel really, really good about 2019. I feel like by and large, the purchases that I made were a really smart investment into my channel because I actually have seen my channel grow. I've seen myself be able to build some relationship with brands. So when all is said and done, I actually feel pretty good about those numbers, which is a perfect segue into question number 2, which is, do you ever feel guilty about how much you spend on makeup? So obviously, by and large, I would say no, I don't feel guilty. The money that I spend for my channel and for beauty products isn't just about the products themselves. It's about the experience of using them, of getting to review them, of getting to create content for you guys, to take photographs and make videos and all of this stuff. So that to me is worth the investment. I think if I was just to look at it purely from a product-based standpoint, like on what I actually need to do my makeup on a daily basis, yes, I've spent way more money than I need to for that purpose, but that's not what beauty stuff is about for me. And also, now this question specifically asks about makeup, but the numbers that I gave you guys previously was for all of my beauty stuff, for all of my hair care and skincare and everything. So I feel like when I consider like the full spectrum of what I'm purchasing and what I'm using, I feel like it's actually fairly reasonable, both on a product-based level and on a hobby-based level. Question number 3, do you get FOMO related to makeup releases? I would say at this point, very, very, very rarely. I've never been one to really buy into the hype of limited edition products or like scarcity tactics with makeup. I've never been someone to usually sit there on my computer waiting for a website to load so I can jump on and order something before it sells out. Like, most of the products that I am personally most interested in are probably going to be here for a while, and I have the luxury of waiting for them to go on sale before I purchase them. In general, as a YouTuber, I've found myself being someone that kind of likes to go against the grain a little bit. I don't like to review the same products that everybody else is reviewing at the same time that everybody else is reviewing them, because I feel like it just gets really redundant to see all that stuff in your feed over and over and over again. So I don't feel the pressure to go out and buy every new launch the second that it launches, or even just like the most popular launches that other people might be getting in PR that I'm not. I know a lot of smaller creators feel a lot of pressure to go and buy those things so that way they can make videos that will actually get views and will get them seen by the algorithm and will help them grow. I sort of have come to this place because I've been doing this long enough and I'm still a very small channel that I have zero expectation. Like, it would be great to grow, but numbers are not my primary concern. All I care about is having a good time, making really good content for those of you who want to watch it. So I'm just going to review the things that I'm most interested in and that I like, and for the most part, I just don't care so much for the super, super crazy hype stuff that everybody's freaking out about and it feels like they need to run out and buy right away or it's going to sell out and you'll never be able to try it. Like, I don't know. It's just makeup. It's beauty stuff. There will always be something else. I think that's a good mantra to have. There will always be something else. So even if you missed it this time, give it a month, there will be something else you want just as badly. Again, perfect segue into question number 4. Do you purchase or keep items simply because they are limited edition? Do I purchase them? Absolutely not. Do I keep them? Maybe. If I know a product is something that I won't be able to get again, I will be less likely to declutter it if I like it. If it's limited edition and I never use it and it's not something I love, I will give it away without thinking twice, just the same as any other product. But something like my Jouer Molten Glow Highlight, for example, I absolutely adore that product and I know it's limited edition, so I'm going to treasure the heck out of that thing forever. Or like when Becca released those champagne splits in collaboration with Jaclyn Hill, I have one that has Flower Child and Champagne Pop. So beautiful. That thing is wicked old, but I still won't get rid of it because I know that that's a thing I'm never going to make again. And as far as I know, it hasn't gone bad yet, so I don't feel so bad holding on to it. So keeping a product because it's limited edition, yes, but purchasing a product because it's limited edition, definitely no. If anything, I think I'm less likely to purchase something if it's limited edition, because I think so many limited edition collections are a total cash grab. I feel like a lot of brands will launch these collections that are kind of rushed. They're not at the same level of quality as their permanent products, just to kind of create a little buzz, make a quick buck. They, send out some PR packages, everyone does videos on them, they're super hyped for a minute, and then they drop off the face of the earth and nobody uses those products again. Question number 5. Would you be willing to pay more money for a sold out product online? No. No. Absolutely 100% not. If you have not seen the Netflix documentary Broken that Marlene Estelle was in, you need to go watch it, because if you aren't educated on counterfeit makeup and makeup resellers and the danger of all of that, you need to go educate yourself. It's very, very interesting, very informative, and also kind of terrifying. In short, if you are ever buying makeup from a non-authorized retailer. So for example, Sephora and Ulta are typically authorized retailers for the brands that they carry there. But if you choose to shop on eBay, Mercari, on Amazon, or on any other website where you have third-party sellers or people reselling things, you have no idea what you're actually buying. What you're buying could very easily be a counterfeit makeup product that could be made in someone's basement in China somewhere in a very unsanitary condition. So be safe. It is so not worth getting an infection or something worse by buying one of these products that claim to be the real deal online. To that point, even if a product is legit and someone is reselling something that's limited edition for 4 times the cost, it's just makeup. It's not gonna last forever. It's something that's gonna expire. So to me personally, it would be a giant waste of money to spend some ungodly amount on a limited edition, out of stock product. Again, there will always be something else. That is the mantra, people. In today's day and age of makeup, there are always new things being launched. There's always wonderful makeup coming on the scene. So if you missed something this time, odds are you'll fall in love with something else. Do you really need to shell out $200 for an eyeshadow palette that used to cost $50, you know? Okay, number 6. Do you wish you could spend more or less? So this is an interesting one because I think, if I'm going to be completely real with you guys, there are definitely moments where I've thought to myself, like, you know, wouldn't it be nice to just like spend with reckless abandon, to like never have to worry about a price tag and just buy whatever you wanted and just enjoy and indulge and just like not have to think about a budget or like how you're going to pay your mortgage that month. But honestly, when I really think about it, I'm kind of glad that I'm not in that position of privilege and that I have to exercise some restraint, because I think it maintains the joy and the excitement for me. I think, and this is one of those things where, you know, you hear a lot with celebrities and people that are uber wealthy, like they get really depressed because when you have everything, when you never have to want for anything anymore, it's very easy to have this sense of emptiness, because there is something to be said for the longing and the desire and the aspiration and like the goal to have more. I think it's very natural and very human. And I think once you get to this point where you already have so much, like that desire doesn't go away, but it almost gets to this point where like more doesn't even make sense because you already can have everything that you want. And in a weird kind of way, I don't think that I want that. I think having enough wealth to be comfortable is, I think, a thing that most of us probably would like to have, just because nobody necessarily wants money anxiety. Nobody wants to be worrying about how they're going to eat or keep a roof over their head. But to still feel like things have value because you know you had to work for them, because you know you can't have everything, I think it creates a specialness that kind of maintains a sense of joy. So for me personally, I feel like, you know, I actually am pretty happy with where I'm at right now. I don't really wish I could spend more. If anything, I do kind of wish I was spending a little bit less. I do feel like I have so much stuff on hand right now. I don't really need to be buying so much makeup in 2020. So it's kind of my goal to like maybe pull back a little bit, or if anything, if I want to maintain my budget, to maybe buy fewer products that are a little bit more expensive that I normally wouldn't treat myself to, than buying a larger quantity of stuff at a lower price point that I may love less and end up decluttering. Question number 7. Do you ever feel compelled to buy something when you see it in someone else's collection? So fortunately for me, I don't have too many other friends in my life that are like beauty nuts like I am. I actually just filmed the other day with my friend Amy, which was super exciting. I don't know when those videos are going to go up. They may be going up after this one. So if they haven't gone live yet, you guys will be seeing those videos soon. But needless to say, I feel like it doesn't happen very often that I'm actually with someone in person and get to like see their collection and then get FOMO from it. If anything, it's like I'm more, you know, seeing things on YouTube that other people are getting and kind of using that as inspiration for helping me to like create my wish list. And I wouldn't say that I ever usually really feel compelled. There are definitely times where if I've seen enough reviews of a product, it will intrigue me and I'll want to go out and swatch it in the store and play with it and kind of make up my mind as to whether or not I want to buy it. But I don't think I'm the kind of person that sees something and is like, oh my God, I need to have that. I'm not usually super compulsive in general. Question number 8, I feel like, is a personal attack on me. It is, do you buy more during the holidays? Yes. I go crazy. I went a little bananas this year. I'm mildly embarrassed, but at the same time, I know part of it is that I haven't had a full-time job in 2 years, and I finally just started a new job a couple of weeks ago, so I actually have income again. So I feel like I went into treat yourself mode a little bit this holiday season. I took advantage of some really good sales. And really that's the thing for me. Again, I am the kind of person that is more likely to wait and not buy something when it first launches and hold off for a few months because I know there are going to be a lot of sales around the holidays, and then spend my money then. Question number 9. Have you ever hidden a makeup purchase from family or friends? Maybe when I was younger, but definitely not now. I think when I was growing up, my parents were super frugal. My mom only ever really used things from the drugstore. She bought like the cheapest shampoos, the cheapest body wash. I remember having like CoverGirl and Maybelline makeup. I remember the first time I stepped foot into a Sephora and feeling like just this total overwhelm at how expensive everything was, because I had very much been programmed to feel like you couldn't spend that kind of money on those kinds of things. However, as I got older and like got jobs and was able to make my own money, I really got over that. And if anything, I feel like I kind of swung a little hard in the other direction. I don't typically purchase really luxury things, but I definitely have adopted the attitude of it's sometimes worth it to spend a little bit more to get something that you're really going to love and that's a really nice quality. I don't think you have to spend a ton of money on makeup to get something nice, but I definitely feel like it is more worth it to shell out the extra cash on something that is a really nice product versus being locked into only spending the least amount possible. So yeah, back to the actual question. I'm sure when I was younger and still living with my parents, I probably tried to be a little bit more stealthy about how much money I was spending on makeup and what I was buying, because I was afraid my mom was going to guilt trip me for it and like freak out because she personally wouldn't have spent that kind of money on those products. But now that I'm an adult and I'm married and, you know, I don't hide those things from anybody. I mean, I'm making this video right now, so now literally everybody that watches this is going to know exactly how much money I spent on makeup this year. But my husband, like, he's super chill. He does not care. He's very, very laid back about money, so he never really guilts me about anything. He is just as guilty, if not worse, about buying books. Like, books are to him what makeup is to me, so we both kind of mutually respect each other's, you know, vices and just let it be. So yeah, I don't hide anything. I'm pretty open about it. I buy a lot of makeup. It is what it is. Question number 10. Do you have more than 10 products in your collection that you have not used in over a month? I think most of my makeup I haven't used in over a month. I would say I usually have like a 3 to 6 month rotation, because when you have like 20 highlights, you can't use them all in a month. I mean, you can. There are more than 20 days in a month, but generally speaking, I'm not reaching for a new highlight every single day, and I'm not even necessarily wearing makeup every single day. So I generally try to rotate through products in my collection, use something for about a week or so, and then use something else. And if I notice that I'm consistently not reaching for something, I declutter it. This year, 2019, I've been so much better, probably the best I've ever been when it comes to decluttering. I have found myself being way less attached to my makeup and way happier to find new loving homes for my products if I'm not getting enough use out of them. All right, just a couple of questions left. Number 11, have you ever been pressured to purchase something you could not afford or did not need? So I wouldn't say I've ever felt pressured to buy anything. Again, I'm not someone that lets myself be sucked into the hype or feel like I need to buy certain products to review for my channel because that's what everybody else is doing. I'm not a big bandwagoner in that respect. But I will definitely say that, I've bought things I don't need. I'm pretty sure I don't need any of this. I mostly buy things because I want to. And to that point, same thing with the could not afford. I generally still try to always be mindful of my overall budget, how much money I have and how much money I can afford to be spending on fun things. I've had to be a little more mindful this year because of my work situation. But I would say that overall, I think I've been pretty responsible and pretty smart with my makeup purchasing habits. Like, I don't usually buy super luxury products and things that are ultra expensive because I think there's still just that little nugget of frugalness that's like permanently embedded in my soul. But I don't ever buy things that I know I don't have the money on hand to pay for. I am someone who is never ever paid interest on my credit cards. I always pay them off in full every month because I'm totally crazy like that. And like, I make sure if I ever charge something, I have the money in the bank to pay off that bill. I don't use Afterpay or any of those services that like break your purchases down into multiple installments so you don't feel the pain of how much money you're spending. Like, I think all of those things are kind of a slippery slope, and I'm super overly cautious about all that kind of stuff. So I would say, yeah, in general, I don't think I've been pressured to buy makeup that I couldn't afford or that would put me in a financially bad situation. Number 12, do you purchase makeup for collector reasons? No, I've never really been a makeup collector, which is funny because I definitely have a very collector personality type. Like when I was little, I used to collect stickers, I collected erasers, I used to collect different kinds of dolls. So like I know that I very much have it in me to be the kind of person that likes to collect things. And maybe that's why I don't do it with makeup, because I know that if I even let myself remotely consider the possibility of collecting makeup, it would get out of control and it would be a problem and I would be spending money irresponsibly. I don't want that pressure, because I feel like once you get in that mindset of collecting, it can be very anxiety inducing even when you don't have something or when you're missing something from your collection, and I don't even want to go there. And finally, the very last question in this tag: in your makeup journey, have you become more or less consumeristic? So I would say overall my buying habits have changed over time, but I definitely am still purchasing a lot as far as beauty products go. So I wouldn't say that I am less consumeristic. I think that would be unfair, but I would say I am a much smarter consumer now than I was 3, 4, 5 years ago. I feel like I used to be the kind of person that would just buy something because it was on sale and it was a good deal. Now I only will buy things that I think I really am going to like. Once in a while, I'll have a weird impulse purchase and I'll try something out, but by and large, I feel like the things that I am purchasing are pretty smart purchases. Like I know I just filmed my worst of beauty for 2019 video the other day, and it wasn't a really, really long list. And I think a lot of that reason is because I've been really, really cautious about my beauty shopping purchases this year. I haven't bought a lot of duds because I've really thought long and hard about most of the things I'm buying. I know my preferences. I know myself really well. I watch a lot of reviews. So usually by the time I decide to buy something, I have a pretty good idea of whether or not it's going to work for me. So it's pretty rare that I buy something that it ends up being a total flop. And also, as I mentioned before, I feel like I'm way less attached to my beauty collection than I ever used to be. It brings me so much joy to share my abundance. Like I am constantly decluttering and bringing bags and bags of stuff to friends' houses, to family members' houses, and just like giving stuff away because I'm blessed to get a lot more in PR than I ever have before. And I know of the things that I'm purchasing, I'm not going to need to use or keep everything. So once I have gotten the experience of reviewing and testing something, I've gotten my joy out of it. I want to let somebody else get some joy out of that product by letting them have it and them play with it. So yes, I still am spending a lot of money on makeup. Yes, I'm still, buying a lot and adding a lot new to my collection, both through purchases and PR. But I also feel like I give away a lot more, I share a lot more, and in general, I'm shopping a lot smarter. And that, I believe, is it. Those were all of the questions in the beauty consumer tag. That was actually a lot of fun to do. I feel like it was just a very, very interesting set of questions. I really, really commend 90s Love Child, I hope I'm remembering that correctly, for coming up with this tag and for sharing it with us. I tag all of you that are watching this that have a channel to answer these questions. Or even if you don't have a channel and you want to post an answer to one of these questions or tell me a little bit about your makeup spending habits in the comments down below. You guys know I love chatting with you and love hearing your experience as well. Totally random side note that I meant to mention in my intro and didn't. How cute is this t-shirt? This is from Kathleen Light's merch website, Light's Label. It's her Kathleen's Universe tee. When I first saw this, I thought it was just the cutest. I love all of these things. So I knew I needed to buy this, and I'm also wearing her Lights lacquer nail polish in the shade Ruby today. I feel like since we are talking about shopping and consumerism, I might as well just also put it out there that these are also things I've spent money on recently. Again, I had a problem. It's the holidays. I've gone a little crazy with the treat yourself. Anyway, with that being said, I'm sure I've kept you guys long enough, so I'm gonna let you go, but I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, and I will see you in my next video. Bye, guys.